हेलो दोस्तों, आज एक इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन डिस्कस करते हैं। क्वेश्चन बोल रहा है हीट ट्रांसफर्ड एट कांस्टेंट प्रेशर इंक्रीजेज द टेम्परेचर ऑफ ए सिस्टम। सो वेदर दिस स्टेटमेंट इज ट्रू और फॉल्स। लेट्स टेक वन सिस्टम। एक सिस्टम को सपोज करते हैं। सपोज दिस इज अ सिस्टम, राइट, एंड हीट इज बीइंग सप्लाइड टू दिस सिस्टम। हीट इज बीइंग सप्लाइड टू दिस सिस्टम बाय सम एक्सटर्नल सोर्स, एनी सोर्स. So heat is being supplied, right? This is the heat added और being supplied. heat हम provide कर रहे हैं as a input. heat added और heat supplied to this system. ये system है। तो बोल रहा है कि अगर heat हम इसे provide किया जा रहा है प्रेशर को कांस्टेंट रख के, we have kept the pressure constant. So whether the temperature of a system will increase and what else will happen to the system upon addition of heat. तो हमें पता है, वी नो फ्रॉम फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ थर्मोडाइनमिक्स दैट डी क्यू इज इक्वल टू डी यू प्लस डी डब्ल्यू. दैट इज whenever heat is added there is change in internal energy and there is work transfer that leads to work transfer. और इसे नोटेट करते हैं इस तरह से. सो अभी हम यहाँ पे बोल रहा है कि प्रेशर कांस्टेंट है. सो लेट्स एक्सपैंड अ लिटिल मोर. सो वर्क पता है, वर्क actually it's correct to say work transfer, not work. Similarly, you should always say heat transfer and not heat. So what is work done in thermodynamics? Work done is, or work transfer is a product of pressure. Pressure is an intensive property and volume is an extensive property. So work transfer or work done in thermodynamics is the product of pressure and volume. सो W इज इक्वल टू P डॉट V. अगर हम इसमें चेंज देखना चाहें, सो हाउ डू वी राइट P dV प्लस V dP. सो दिस इज़ द इक्वेशन. सो अभी हम अगर इस इक्वेशन में हम इसे रिप्लेस करते हैं, डी डैश क्यू इज इक्वल टू डी यू प्लस डी डैश डब्ल्यू को हम रिप्लेस करते हैं पी डी वी प्लस वी डी पी से. ये हो गई इक्वेशन. द इक्वेशन बिकम्स आफ्टर एक्सपेंडिंग, आफ्टर द प्रोवाइडिंग, आफ्टर द चेंज दैट वी हैव सीन इन वर्क ट्रांसफ़र एंड हीट ट्रांसफ़र अपॉन एडिशन ऑफ हीट. सो अभी प्रेशर कांस्टेंट है, तो प्रेशर कांस्टेंट है तो डीपी क्या हो जाएगी, ज़ीरो हो जाएगी. सिंस प्रेशर इज कांस्टेंट सो डीपी इज इक्वल टू ज़ीरो. तो ये क्या हो जाएगी, ज़ीरो. सो व्हाट वी हैव गॉट आफ्टर दिस, द रिजल्टिंग इक्वेशन इज डी यू प्लस पी डी वी. और आपको पता होगा, रिजल्ट आपको पहले से पता है, लाइक व्हाट वी हैव लर्नड, व्हाट वी हैव remembered that whenever heat is added at constant volume, so that is nothing but the change in internal energy, and whenever there is heat transfer, heat added or absorbed or rejected at constant pressure, that is nothing but change in enthalpy. So heat added at constant volume is nothing but change in internal energy, and whenever there is heat transfer at constant pressure, that is nothing but change in enthalpy. So dqp is nothing but change in enthalpy. We write enthalpy as H and internal energy as U. Energy is the sum of different forms of energy, but rest of the energy forms are negligible in comparison to internal energy. That is why we simply write E as U. So we got this. सो अभी हमारे पास है डी डैश क्यू इज इक्वल टू डी यू प्लस पी डी वी, एंड व्हाट द इक्वेशन इज दैट वेदर हीट ट्रांसफर एट कांस्टेंट प्रेशर इंक्रीजेस टेम्परेचर ऑफ सिस्टम. सो टेम्परेचर, एंड वी नो फॉर एन आइडियल गैस, फॉर एन आइडियल गैस change in internal energy is dependent on temperature. How? So du is equal to cv dt. This equation holds valid, this equation holds good for an ideal gas. So हमें क्या पता चल रहा है कि internal energy is dependent on temperature. So what information we have drawn from the equation that we have got just now, तो इसमें बोल रहा है कि टेम्परेचर क्या बढ़ाएगी. सो यस वी कैन सी टेम्परेचर किस पे डिपेंडेंट है, क्योंकि इंटरनल एनर्जी भी बढ़ रही है. तो उससे क्या पता चल रहा है, वी कैन इन्फर दैट टेम्परेचर इज बिंग इंक्रीज. सो हम वी गॉट वन थिंग दैट if heat is being transferred at constant pressure, the temperature of system is increasing because du has increased, and in that has resulted to change in temperature. Change in temperature here means the temperature is increasing. उसके अलावा और क्या हो रहा है, सिर्फ टेम्परेचर ही नहीं बढ़ रही है. आपको डी यू के अलावा और क्या मिल रहा है, पी डी वी. पी डी वी क्या है, पी डी वी इज़ नथिंग बट एक्सटर्नल वर्क डन. एक्सटर्नल वर्क डन, वर्क डन एक्सटर्नल. आपको ये पता है. सो हमें पता चल गया अभी कि जब भी हम whenever we are supplying heat at constant pressure, two things are happening, two things are occurring to the system. Its temperature is increasing, as well as the system is doing external work. So हमें पता चल गया. So we have just got the information that this holds true, this line holds true. So this is true, this is true. So what we can infer, that whenever heat is transferred at constant pressure to the system, that heat is not only utilized in increasing the temperature but is also utilized in doing external work. Now let's see another question. Just now we have looked at how things are changing, what phenomenon is happening to the system when heat is transferred at constant pressure. Now let's see whenever there is a heat supply or heat addition to the system at constant volume. Let's write the same equation again from first law of thermodynamics. We have d dash q is equal to du plus d dash w. So we know work transfer or work done in thermodynamics is the product of pressure and volume. Pressure is nothing but an intensive property and volume is extensive property. This is intensive property, extensive property. So whenever there is change in work done, we can further expand this. First you will write pdv, then vdp. So here the condition is the volume remains constant when the heat is being transferred. Transfer can be two things, either heat is being absorbed by the system or heat is being rejected out. So actually we don't know here. So when volume is constant, here volume is constant. Since volume is constant, so what will happen to the change would be zero, right? So what we can replace here, dv is 0, so this is being nullified. So what we have got after this, d dash w is equal to vdp. This is the resulting equation. So again we will utilize this in the equation that we know from first law of thermodynamics. So we can write here d dash q is equal to du. From here what we have, vdp. So in place of d dash w we can write vdp. And just now in the earlier example we have seen, we know from the results that whenever there is a heat transfer or heat transfer at constant pressure, that is nothing but change in enthalpy, and whenever there is heat added, heat rejected or heat transfer at constant volume, that is nothing but change in internal energy. So here heat transfer at constant volume is what, this is, so we can further write. So we know for an ideal gas du is equal to cv dt. Du is equal to cv dt for an ideal gas, that is change in internal energy is nothing but cv dt. And again for an ideal gas the equation dh is equal to cv dt holds good. This equation holds good for an ideal gas. So here we can again replace this du by cv dt, and from ideal gas equation we know this v, we can replace v by mrt upon p. So here we can write, again I'm writing first law of thermodynamics, dq is equal to du plus dw, and as we have here the volume is constant, so we have replaced this dw by vdp. du plus v dp. And now we can again replace du by cv dt, as this du is equal to cv dt for an ideal gas, and v is equal to mRT by p dp. So here cv dt plus mr, this is nothing but mRT, we can further write as ln P2 upon P1. So we got that heat added at constant volume is depending on temperature. This is the one, and is not utilized in doing external work. So the entire heat added is utilized in increasing the temperature of the system only, or is utilized in increasing the internal energy, and there is no external work done. This is the difference. I hope things are clear for you.